are there some racy photos of Jon and Dany in the final season floating around on the internet? Just scandalous. Shame. It's November, and sadly that means the best month of the year is now over. To get over that depression, let's talk about Game of Thrones news, including a reveal of the very first scene in the final season. Warning, spoilers for the final season in this video. Duh. Don't watch if you don't want spoilers. Okay, first, Entertainment Weekly released the very first photo of Season 8, which includes Jon and Dany, and boy, is it sexy. Look at them, embracing in their winter clothes, Jon squinting and not smiling per usual, and Dany looking at the camera and saying, yeah, he rode the dragon. You'll notice the red added to her white winter outfit, and also the fact Jon is wearing black. Well, still wearing black. So this Targaryen couple are wearing Targaryen colors, red and black. Very cute, HBO. Them embracing like this is a clear indication their romance will still be going strong in Season 8, until, of course, Jon dies during childbirth. And if you've noticed Jon's eyes look blue in this photo, I think it's just the reflection of the snow. I wouldn't read too much into it, though of course everyone is going to. Entertainment Weekly also interviewed those working on Game of Thrones, including Brian Cogman, co-executive producer. And Brian talked about the final season, saying, "It's about all these desperate characters coming together to face a common enemy, dealing with their own past and defining the person they want to be in the face of certain death. It's an incredibly emotional, haunting, bittersweet final season, and I think it honors very much what author George R.R. Martin set out to do, which is flipping this kind of story on its head." I like this because a common enemy has finally made certain characters nut up. Like Jaime. He should have left that crazy bitch Cersei seasons ago, and finally the threat of the others has gotten Jaime to get his head out of his own ass. Or Cersei's ass. The emotional, haunting, bittersweet final season part is of course because a lot of characters are going to die, and we'll see some of them sacrifice themselves for others. For the characters with hands that aren't as clean, we could see some redemption through that. Flipping this kind of story on its head, well, I still want to see the others have some bigger reason for what they're doing besides, oh, boo-hoo, we were created and now we're evil. Will we get that? Fuck if I know. What perhaps was the best part about this article is they revealed the very first scene of Season 8. They wrote, "Season 8 opens at Winterfell with an episode that contains plenty of callbacks to the show's pilot. Instead of King Robert's procession arriving, it's Daenerys and her army. What follows is a thrilling, intense intermingling of characters, some of whom have never previously met, many of who have messy histories, as they all prepare to face the inevitable invasion of the army of the dead." They also revealed that Sansa is not happy about Jon bending the knee to Dany, which, before anyone bitches about Sansa being a bitch, Dany is the daughter of the man that killed Sansa's grandfather and uncle, and Dany is the sister of the man Sansa believes kidnapped and raped her aunt. So yeah, Sansa has some legit reasons to not want Dany anywhere near her or her family. Oh, and the huge battle at Winterfell? We're being told it makes the Battle of the Bastards feel like a theme park, and that the battle will intercut between multiple characters in their own survival storyline. So this is going to be amazing. Entertainment Weekly also talked to Kit and Amelia about the final season, and their responses gave me so much hype for the final season. On the final season, Kit said, "It's relentless. Scenes that would have been a one-day shoot 5 years ago are now a 5-day shoot. They want to get it right. They want to shoot everything every single way so they have options." Amelia added to this saying, "Camera checks take longer. Costumes are a bit better. Hair and makeup a bit sharper. Every choice, every conversation, every attitude has this air of, this is it. Everything feels more intense." There's something oddly endearing about how much care they're taking with the final season. Like, they know how important this show is to a lot of people, and they want to be very respectful of that. Oh wait, sorry, I'm a lifelong book fan, and a snob. Fuck this show! D&D are fucking hacks! They have no idea what they're doing! This is shitty writing! Anyone that likes this show is a goddamn shill! Fuck them! Only my opinion matters! Oh my gosh, and so adorable, the cast of Game of Thrones did a Would You Rather, and one of the questions was, would you rather kiss Walder Frey or hug someone with grayscale? Which, I feel like it's an obvious choice. I would definitely just lick a man with grayscale all over his body. Oh, and also adorable, Kit Harington is delighted that now when people come up to him and ask, "Are you Jon Snow?" he can reply, "Not anymore." Which is very true, as Kit has gotten rid of his Jon Snow look, so that means he's done with reshoots and officially done with filming for Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones prequel news, we have some more casting news for the Age of Heroes Long Night pilot that will begin filming in February, and if we believe George's many comments, including comments in October, it's going to be called The Long Night. First, Naomi Watts has been cast to lead an ensemble cast, and it's reported she will play a charismatic socialite hiding a dark secret. Now, different sources are claiming that the series will feature a female lead and that she will be that female lead, which is a bit interesting given what we know about The Long Night and The Last Hero, but there's ways to get around it, and who knows how maesters have mucked up the history of that anyways. I would love for her to be the wife of the Night King though. The other casting reported was for Josh Whitehouse. He will also be a lead, but there isn't much else on him or even a brief description of his character. We also saw casting calls for this show, which ends November 17th. Here's the list. I love that we're getting more and more evidence we'll see The Long Night all throughout the world of Ice and Fire, just not on Westeros. So again, you have until the 17th if you want to be in the prequel. And that's all the newest news on the prequels as of right now, as filming for the pilot begins in February. Again, we'll likely be getting a ton of more leaks incoming next year. And because George has also been pretty upfront that other spin-offs / prequels are still in development besides the one about The Long Night, we actually might get some more news about them next year as well. Now next, I want to talk about some older news that came up in October, but because I was out of country or away from home for most of October, I fell behind on the Game of Thrones news. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about the rest of the bigger news in October, not all of it because I'm not that type of crazy. Maisie did an interview about Game of Thrones a week and a half ago and talked about her character, saying, "I got to the end and I didn't want more. I had exhausted every possible piece of Arya, and this season was quite big for me. I had a lot more to do. Mainly because there's just less characters now, so everyone's got more to do." From all the leaks, it looks like Arya makes it to the end, or makes it pretty much to the end of Game of Thrones, so I can see why she would be happy with Arya just going off and exploring the world and traveling as an end to her character. Ooh, also, Sean Bean was asked if he would ever be interested in appearing in a Game of Thrones prequel, to which he responded, "I'm always a bit reluctant to go back to shows under a different format or guise, but you never know with something like this. It just depends on the time frames. I think if the quality was maintained, you know, the kind of thought behind it, if it didn't look as though it was just an add-on just to capitalize on earlier success." As HBO's been pretty upfront that characters from the main Game of Thrones series won't be in any of the prequels or spin-offs, this was kind of a pointless question, but I still enjoyed the answer. In other news, Peter Dinklage talked about how hard it was to see a certain young actor or actress do their last scene for Game of Thrones, saying, "I won't say their name or their character's name, but one of the young people on the show wrapped this past season, and everybody was a wreck. This person had grown up on the show, you know? They were a child, and now they were an adult. And then they're done. It's like we were witnessing this person saying goodbye to their childhood." This is likely in reference to one of the Stark kids, and I just love how close all of them got to each other. He also talked about his character Tyrion, saying, "It's certainly developed a deeper sense of responsibility over the course of the show. He was a pretty irresponsible character to begin with. He used his position as the outcast of his family like an adolescent would." On his character's end, Peter said, "I feel I'm trying to find the right word. I think he was given a very good conclusion, no matter what that is. death can be a great way out. So read into that how you will. I still don't believe the leaks that Tyrion dies due to treason in the final season, especially since Peter keeps saying the end to his character is beautiful, and I just can't see being killed for treason being beautiful. Onward, Sophie talked about Sansa in the final season, revealing Sansa has been somewhat lost as a matter of where she wants to be, who she wants to be, and who she wants to surround herself with. And this season, she is very self-assured. She knows what she wants. She knows what she stands for. She knows who she wants to be around, and she faces threats to that this season. I'm guessing the threats to that is the threat everyone's experiencing. The others. Next, recently, George R. R. Martin did an interview with the New York Times, which was actually really, really good. And one question he tackled was how his series is a metaphor for climate change. In this interview, George also said that if he had to pick a place in Westeros or Essos to live, he'd pick Braavos because he feels like it would be a cool place to live. Oh, and he was also super dodgy about Joanna Lannister in a way that usually means he's going to be doing something with that character in the future, so that was interesting. Lastly, and most importantly, George was asked about him and redheads, to which he responded, "I like redheads. I'm married to a redhead, and I've known other redheads in the past. I think redheads are amazing." Aw, thanks, George. I feel like we don't get enough love. His entire interview was actually really good. I will try to remember to link it in the video description down below. Alright, so that was your Game of Thrones October news. Like, subscribe, come back for more videos, and let me know in the comment section down below, would you rather kiss Walder Frey or hug someone with grayscale?